Excellence is not so much what you do, but the attitude of how you do things. Obvious inhibitors or reasons for a lack of excellence would typically be thought of as mediocrity, where often we would say good is the enemy of great, or as a Rockefeller quoted, don't be afraid to give up on the good to go for the great. He believed that people who are really ambitious shy away from comfort. These people never settle for good enough because they know that good enough just turns into average after a while. In this video, I will explore the other end of the spectrum, a hidden enemy, one which I believe trips us up because it's not as obvious, and that is perfectionism, which one could argue is just as bad as the good enough or the average syndrome. Hey, I'm Wayne and welcome to Wayne's Matrix. Hit that like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. So what's the difference between doing something right versus doing something perfectly? I'll give you an example. I often make these videos, or I do some videos for the office as well. And I will delay in actually hitting the record button and shooting because the lighting is not right, or the script is not perfect, or the time of day is not right, or I haven't found the location to shoot. Goodness me, I can think of 1,000 reasons sometimes why I don't hit that record button. And that's actually me trying to be perfect, right? It's me trying to set a sense of this is a perfectionism of mine that's actually causing procrastination. It's causing non-delivery, and it's causing a sense of non-consistency. And that form of perfectionism is actually very bad for me. Yes, I'm trying to do something really good. I'm trying to do something that's perfect. But that perfect is actually far beyond what I should actually be achieving, and that is exceeding or being excellent, and just exceeding an expectation. So the way often I get past that is to just set a bar and then try and get above that bar. It may not be 100% perfect, but as long as I'm exceeding in my expectation of what I need to achieve, then that is great. And it's not a good enough syndrome either. So I don't try and just be average to just get something out. I really do set a high bar, but I don't try and make it 100% perfect. So then what do I mean doing it right versus doing it perfectly? I'm not talking about doing something just good enough, just getting by. I'm actually referring to doing things with excellence, but not with perfection. So what does it mean to strive for excellence? The spirit of excellence comes from being diligent, having consistency, being trustworthy, not being negligent, and having integrity. Excellence, as the name implies, means excelling in these things, or better put, exceeding expectations. And not only in the big things in our life, but also in the little things too. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets even as Michelangelo painted, or as Beethoven composed music, or as Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, 'Here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well.'" Simply put, we need to take pride in our work, in everything we do, in order to truly live a life full of passion and purpose. So other than guarding against mediocrity or the average or the good enough syndrome, the other extreme version of excellence is then tilting the balance too far in the opposite end, and by letting it become oppressive, by letting perfectionism define our excellence. To understand why I believe perfection is actually bad for your pursuit of excellence, we need to dissect the word perfection. Perfection has the word perfect in it. This is where flawless comes to mind. In other words, having no flaws. Perfection can also be seen as a goal. And as per my video around why goals are bad and systems are better, if you're trying to achieve perfection, you could ultimately fail. Don't fool yourself into thinking that the drive for perfection is the way to avoid the good enough syndrome or to avoid the being average. When we speak of living a life with excellence, when we strive for excellence, we are definitely moving beyond average, and we're moving beyond good enough. We are pushing to exceed expectations. In summary, Excellence implies that we need to give our best, whereas perfection implies that we need to be flawless. Let's rather understand our limitations and adapt them to a list of flaws that we can work towards overcoming through living a life of exceeding expectations consistently and by living diligently and with integrity. So remember this, perfectionism can be harmful, but excellence can definitely be profitable. So let's pursue excellence instead of perfection. Cheers.